Did you know that Fort Thomas is considered one of the best places to live in Kentucky? In fact, niche.com voted it the #1 best place to live in all of Kentucky in 2024.
And we're here to show you why. From its picturesque streets to its welcoming community, stay tuned to find out the unique features that make Fort Thomas a place to call home.
Hey everyone, today we are going to give you the insider scoop on everything you need to know about Fort Thomas.
We've lived here for the past 8 years and have lots to say about what it's like to be a cake eater. And whether you're considering moving here or just curious about the area, we've got you covered.
We'll explore what makes Fort Thomas desirable, including its location, amenities, housing market, demographics, school system, and sense of community. Let's get started.
First, let's talk location. Nestled at the top of rolling hills without any major roads running through town, Fort Thomas could easily be missed unless you're looking for it. Despite being located in Kentucky, Fort Thomas is only about 5 miles from downtown Cincinnati, and parts of it have beautiful views of the Cincinnati skyline and Lunken Airport. If you're looking on a map, Fort Thomas is accessible via the river cities of Newport, Bellevue, and Dayton, as well as Woodlawn, Southgate, and Highland Heights. As the crow flies, part of Fort Thomas are less than a mile away from areas like Columbia, Tusculum, Lunken Airport, and Riverbend. If it weren't for the Ohio River, we could be to any of those spots in about 5 minutes, as opposed to the 20 to 25 that it takes to drive around to one of the bridges and back over. However, while we can't travel through the sky, sound can, and you can often hear concerts at Riverbend in various parts of Fort Thomas. You can get downtown within 7 to 10 minutes via I-471, just having to cross the Daniel Carter Beard Bridge, or as our kids affectionately call it, the McDonald's Bridge. With easy access to 471, 71, and 275, commuting to downtown or other parts of northern Kentucky is fairly simple. Another bonus is that CVG International Airport is also located in northern Kentucky and is only about a 20-minute drive away, making travel super convenient. Speaking of convenient, Fort Thomas is ideal for those who want the convenience of urban living while still having a peaceful, walkable neighborhood to call home.
Fort Thomas is more than just peaceful and walkable streets. And while this area has not been known as a foodie destination, the food and drink scene here is growing, and we love the options we have here at Fort Thomas. On the south side of town, near Tower Park, the Midway district has multiple food and drink options you won't want to miss. The award-winning Midway Cafe has won the title of Cincinnati's best wings for their incredible smoked wings, but don't sleep on their other menu items and their vast bourbon selection, which is one of the best in the region. Grassroots and Vine is also a great option, offering a gourmet market and a farm-to-table concept known for its amazing brunch, cocktails, and wine. Another destination on the south side of town is the Post Tap and Bottle Shop, where you can grab a juicy burger from the Gruff while sipping on one of the many beers they have on tap. And there's even a dedicated play space for your kids. You can also enjoy weekly events like trivia and bluegrass nights, which makes the Post a gathering place and destination for the whole community. And if you're in the mood for traditional Mexican food and tacos, head to the Central Business District. Kamal not only has incredible food, but it also is super family friendly with games available for all ages. And yes, they do celebrate Taco Tuesday with special taco pricing. If you're looking for something a little more elevated, head across the street to the Green Line Kitchen and Cocktails, which is the latest concept from Cafeo Restaurant Group, the team behind local favorites like Incline Public House, Press on Monmouth, Jefferson Social, and Somm Wine Bar and Kitchen. Fort Thomas has other restaurant options spread throughout town as well, such as Highland Square, which offers classic soup, salad, and sandwich options, Padrino Italian for pizza, pasta, and hoagies, as well as Tickle Pickle, known for their rock and roll inspired burgers like the Bread Zeppelin and the Metallica. And if you have a sweet tooth like we do, Fort Thomas has multiple dessert and ice cream options like Hello Honey, known all over the Cincinnati region for its unique scratch-made ice creams and desserts, as well as Fort Thomas Parlor, which we love for its soft serve and hand-dipped ice cream, as well as cookie dough. And the newly opened Emma's Ice, featuring both sugar-free and dye-free flavor options. Fort Thomas doesn't have major shopping or entertainment areas, but it is just a few minutes away from Newport, where you have Newport Pavilion with a ton of shopping options and Newport on the Levee with a good blend of restaurants, shopping, and entertainment. For grocery options, there is a Kroger in both Newport and Bellevue, as well as an Aldi and Fresh Time Market in Newport. For your fitness needs, Fort Thomas has the Campbell County YMCA, CrossFit Soto, and Mint Yoga. But it's just a few minutes away from larger gyms like Crunch Fitness and Planet Fitness in Newport, as well as more boutique options like Orange Theory and Cross River Fitness.
Or if you prefer to get your exercise outside, nestled among all of these amazing amenities are over 15 parks in Fort Thomas. While many of these parks are pocket parks, meaning that they are not more than a quarter of an acre, there are 3 main parks in Fort Thomas: Rossford Park, Highland Hills Park, and Tower Park, which are much larger. Each of these parks have green space and playgrounds, as well as rentable shelters. In 2012, Rossford Park underwent a complete overhaul. New playground equipment was installed and 2 baseball fields were updated. Rossford Park's play equipment is unique, with slides being built into the hillside and a climbing structure resembling a tree for children to play on. There's also a quarter-mile walking path around the baseball fields, complete with exercise equipment at various locations along the path. Highland Hills Park is 77 acres and provides a local dog park for off-leash fun with separate areas for both small and large dogs. The park also has a 9-hole disc golf course and is home to the Highland High School Bluebirds baseball field. And if you want a little adventure, look no further than a hike through more than 3 miles of trails within the woods of the park. In an effort to instill further community, along the trails you will find incredible carved art created by a local Fort Thomas resident and woodworker, Chris Rust of CR Carving, that allow for a fun scavenger hunt or photo opportunities along the trail. On July 4th, 2024, Fort Thomas celebrated the grand reopening of the main playground at Tower Park, the city's largest park at 87 acres, perfect for the park's rich patriotic history. An active military base for 60 years, the park contains both the mess hall and the armory. The mess hall was built in 1890 with bricks that were made at a local brickyard that was actually located in the current location of Highlands High School. From 1891 until 1946, it was used as an active Army mess hall, and thousands of soldiers who fought in the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, and Vietnam were fed there. In 1972, the building was donated to the city of Fort Thomas and had various uses over the next 20 years. But in 1992, it was renovated into a community and reception center, where it now hosts everything from weekly farmers markets and city council meetings to local weddings and events. There is still an Army Reserve base and a VA hospital within the area surrounding the park as well. If you'd like to learn more about the military and community history of Fort Thomas, you can check out the Fort Thomas Military and Community Museum. Also within the park are over 4 miles of trails for mountain biking and hiking and running, and an amphitheater that hosts local community events such as the Kentucky Symphony Orchestra Summer Concert Series and the Merchants and Music Festival, and 3 different playgrounds, each of which have been recently constructed or renovated. While the playgrounds near the softball field and the sand volleyball court are each made up of 1 climbing structure and a set of swings, the main playground has multiple different climbing structures, swings, and a zip line. Having recently undergone a $3.6 million renovation, the playground features all new playground equipment, ADA-compliant walkways, and hours of fun for all ages. A fun fact about this park is the iconic tower at the front of Tower Park is actually constructed around one of the town's water towers and also serves as a monument to the 6th Infantry, which served in the Spanish-American War. The historic homes at the front of the park have been residential for years, but the homes in Alexander Circle were bought from the VA by the city of Fort Thomas in 2017, fully renovated and sold for the first time to homeowners in 2018, with residents being able to take occupancies starting in 2020. These homes are not the only historic homes in Fort Thomas, however. In fact, 100-year-old homes are kind of the norm here. Since there's very little undeveloped land remaining in Fort Thomas, the majority of homes are already established. While it is common to find individuals renovating their homes here, new builds are not the norm. And when an opportunity for building or a lot come available, they're often purchased quickly.
Let's dive a little deeper into the housing market in Fort Thomas. Houses in general sell quickly here, and many homes are sold before they even hit the market. Historically, there were a lot of homes passed down between families, and while there is less of that now, there are still lots of families that are generations deep in Fort Thomas. According to demographic studies, 72% of Fort Thomas residents own their homes. And while Fort Thomas is known for having higher priced homes, there is a wide range of price points, including not only single-family homes, but also duplexes, multi-units, and apartment complexes, allowing for diversity in economic status. The median home value in Fort Thomas is around $340,000, which is slightly higher than those found in Fort Wright, which has a median home value of $325,000, but lower than that of Fort Mitchell, which is $390,000. And while Fort Thomas has been compared to other Cincinnati neighborhoods like Wyoming and Marymount, it has a significantly lower median price point than those neighborhoods, which are $475,000 and $450,000 respectively. And even though the median home value for Fort Thomas is around $340,000, that is a slightly skewed number. Fort Thomas is essentially divided into 3 different geographic areas: North, Central, and South Fort Thomas. The North and Central median home values tend to be slightly higher than those in South Fort Thomas as a whole. The architectural style in Fort Thomas is diverse as well, with craftsman, bungalow, Cape Cod, Tudor, colonial, French country, and even the highly coveted ranch home is in the mix of what you will see throughout the city. Whatever the style of home you're looking for, the Fort Thomas real estate market is hot and generally sees a really solid year-over-year increase in sale price. So now let's jump into demographics. Fort Thomas actually has the second highest livability score in all of Greater Cincinnati with a 91 out of 100. The crime rates in Fort Thomas are 66% lower than the Kentucky average and 76% lower than the national average, further proving that this is a great place to raise a family, and it was actually voted the #2 place to raise a family in all of Kentucky. The population in Fort Thomas is just over 17,000, and the age range is pretty even across the board, from young adults to families to retirees, and the average age is right around 38 years old. One of the many reasons that young families choose to live in Fort Thomas is because of the high quality education we have here. Fort Thomas has 5 different elementary schools, 2 parochial, St. Catherine's and St. Thomas, and 3 public, Johnson Elementary, Moyer, and Woodville. Each of these elementary schools are National Blue Ribbon Award winners, and all of Fort Thomas independent schools are highly ranked in academic standings as well as athletics in the entire state of Kentucky.
The highly rated schools, desirable homes, and medium household income have historically led residents of Fort Thomas to be known as cake eaters. And to be honest, this mindset was one of the things that we were most concerned about before moving to Fort Thomas. While we can't speak for everyone, outside of the 15-year waitlist to get into the Fort Thomas Swim Club, our experience has been nothing but the opposite. The kindness and sense of community within Fort Thomas is strong, and the businesses intentionally go out of their way to foster that community by providing spaces for people of all ages to enjoy. And places like the local YMCA and Fort Thomas Library create specific programs and offer lots of free or low-cost activities for all ages as well. And bonus, the YMCA has a pool without any waiting list. As we mentioned in our previous Northern Kentucky video, one of the things that we love the most about this area is the sense of community that is fostered through all of the small town events. Every week, Fort Thomas hosts a farmers market with local farmers and bakers from across the region coming to sell their goods. It also hosts Flea in the Fort, an artisan craft show held several times throughout the year, similar to City Flea in Cincinnati. The Fort Thomas Easter egg hunt has become so popular that they've had to divide it into different age groups and fill thousands of eggs each year. It's become known as the fastest 2 minutes in Fort Thomas because the city sets off a blowhorn and the kids all dash to fill up their baskets. And there is nothing quite like the charm of the Fort Thomas 4th of July parade, where people set out chairs days before to claim their spots, where basically everyone knows somebody in the parade, and every kid is sure to leave with multiple pieces of candy. Then there's the Halloween decorating contest and pumpkin walk, where the whole town brings jack-o'-lanterns to Tower Park and creates an illuminated pathway through the woods. The holiday walk and tree lighting ceremony is also a pillar in the community. Churches and businesses open their doors after hours and offer hot chocolate and chili and s'mores to the community. And everyone comes together to watch the lighting of the Christmas tree in what has become one of the most festive evenings of the whole year. These events and others have become yearly traditions for so many families, including our own, and only serve to foster a deeper sense of community.
Hey guys, I'm here at the post with Michael Keogh. Him and his wife Lindsay are the owners here, and they are also residents here in Fort Thomas. Michael, what do you guys love about the city of Fort Thomas?
Honestly, the Fort Thomas has just been an awesome community. I mean, that's probably the number one word that comes to mind for me is just the community aspect. I mean, we moved here 5 years ago. Folks are super friendly, very family oriented. Walkability around Fort Thomas. We love that small town feel, but being able to get to downtown Cincinnati to work or, go enjoy an event or a show or something like that. So walkability, community, it's really what it comes down to for us. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So you guys chose to move here. You also chose to start a business here, which we're standing in. Tell us why you chose to start a business here in Fort Thomas.
So it's kind of always a vision that we had to kind of do something and build something from the ground up with our family. And we love beer, and we love a community space and a fun place to go with the kiddos and family. So that's what it all came down to. It really came down to having a vision, having a passion for it. And we felt like there's a lot of other young families in the area and other folks just that enjoy that kind of atmosphere. So we wanted to feel like it would be a good fit for Fort Thomas and bring it to the community.
So what are some other things that you and your family love to do or places you love to go here in town?
Yeah, I touched on it a little bit, but the walkability aspect is just so fun. So, with the younger kiddos, we got to get the energy out. Got to hit up the playgrounds. There's multiple playgrounds all around the area, which is super fun. Brand new playground opening July 4th, which is super exciting. The kids have been jacked up about that for a while now. But other than that, there's, you got the trails in Fort Thomas, there's mountain biking, and just there's such a variety of businesses too. So a variety of food, variety of cuisines, different places to go. You got kind of fresh food coming to, farm to table type stuff at Grassroots. You got your coffee shops, fun to let the littles run around over Fort Thomas Coffee. You kind of got everything that you need here, and it's all walkable. I always come back to that, but I like getting out about and exploring, and especially during the summer, beautiful days. It's fun to walk around town, see friends, family, all that good stuff.
Okay, cool. And finally, so Fort Thomas is a bit of a hidden gem, and a lot of people that don't live here don't know much about it. So what would you say to someone who is considering moving to Fort Thomas?
I would say come check out the town. Come walk around, come check out some of the local spots. There's always local events going on in Fort Thomas, whether it's the businesses running them or the town or the city. So there's always fun stuff happening. But yeah, come check it out. The other thing I'd say is that, for someone who, obviously, works here a lot, but, has a normal day job and lives in, works in downtown Cincinnati, it takes me less than 10 minutes to get from there to my office, right? So, it's not too far for folks to come check it out and, come have some fun.
Awesome. Michael, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. And thank you so much for continuing to serve the community here in Fort Thomas.
If we had to sum up Fort Thomas in one picture, it would be Mayberry meets Stars Hollow. We love living here. Thanks for joining us on our neighborhood tour, and maybe we'll see you around at the next big town event.
Don't forget to subscribe to Barron Group Media and drop us a comment to let us know which neighborhood you'd like to see next. We'll see you soon.